So instead of watching the Marvels, which is unlike me because I watch every Marvel movie that comes out, watch my recent short to find out why I didn't watch that movie. But instead of that, I watched Loki Season 2 instead, and I think that was a way better choice. Now, the reason I didn't watch them week after week was because I like to binge watch, so I waited for them all to come out just so I can watch them in quick succession, and so I can sum up my thoughts in a singular video like this one. But wow, it's crazy to think that it's been a little bit over 2 years since the first season of Loki came out. It definitely doesn't feel that long, at least to me. I remember back when season 1 released, I wanted to talk about it because I really enjoyed it, but at the same time, I didn't know exactly how to talk about and like what to talk about because it just felt like overloaded with plot and had me scratching my head in confusion a numerous amount of times because there was a lot to process. You know, with this whole multiverse thing, I think back then was one of the first instances it was introduced to us as well, and it had a lot to do with time control and variance and stuff that someone can easily get confused by. So at the same time, I didn't know if it was bad or if it was good. Like I can see if people want to pick it apart and say, it's convoluted or whatever, and you know, it's technically a superhero series, so they can just make the absolute dumbest shit up and all of that stuff, right? But I can also see a lot of people who would enjoy that because of its uniqueness. Either way, I still enjoyed it to some extent. And with all this being said, same goes for season 2. But maybe I enjoyed the season a little bit more. Yes, it was still as confusing and as crazy, maybe even more so, but it felt bigger and better in a way, and I love how it feels so deeply connected to the first season, that it feels like it's just this one big overarching season, because I wouldn't say a whole lot actually happens in retrospect, and it continues on immediately from the end of the first season. So if you like the first season, chances are you're gonna love this one as well. And if you like Loki as a character, you'll most certainly love this one because it really ties in with his character, and his character goes through a pretty big emotional arc in this one, which I really enjoyed. Other than Loki, standouts for me for this season were Obi and Victor Timely. Incredible performances by Ki Hu Kwan, hopefully I got that right, and Jonathan Majors. You know, when you've already got a great cast and have seen them perform before, it's the newcomers that add a new fresh coat of paint to the series. Well, I guess Jonathan Majors isn't a newcomer, but his new character certainly felt like one. That's just how good he is. And it's crazy to think Victor Timely is technically a villain, right? You know, he's a Kang variant. But he was just so lovable in this season. This whole season felt like a wild goose chase, searching for answers, before Kang's variants come for Loki and his friends. Supposedly. That's what we left off of towards the end of season 1 and what got me really hyped for season 2. You know, I heard something very insane recently, which was how there's been the same amount of projects after Endgame, like Marvel movies, shows, or whatever. The same amount after Endgame as before Endgame. So it's nice to see one of the few projects actually focus on the next big thing, which is the multiverse and Kang. Even though some parts were pretty slow, but that still didn't stop me from getting immersed. Like by episodes 4 and 5, man, I was hooked, and I just didn't want these to stop. Those cliffhangers, jeez. Still, with all that being said, this season just felt like something to pass the time. Like I said, not a whole lot ends up happening, and you'll see. I don't want to give away anything, but it's just like one big treasure hunt, if you will, and a lot of trial and error. It felt like one big heist, which was very interesting to watch unfold, don't get me wrong, but does it relate to Kang, the next big thing, as much as you want it to, and as much as maybe some people expect it to coming into it? No, it doesn't. So I guess don't go into this expecting something that will completely blow you away within that aspect. Just enjoy it for what it is. Ultimately, Loki Season 2 is a great continuation from Season 1, completing a great emotional arc and journey for Marvel's most beloved villain turned hero. But overall, this season definitely feels more like a filler, where I think the end result of the whole season can be described in just one paragraph. It wasn't really about Kang, it was mainly about Loki, which makes sense and is fine. And I feel like a lot of people will get very emotional, especially at the end of this season. I mean, towards the end, I kind of felt a bit empty inside. I'm like, wow, is that it? For me though, I was more excited about Kang because, I mean, we know Loki, we've seen him, he's our boy, right? But like, nothing excites me more than seeing the next big thing. And I just feel like the phases after Endgame have just been a major blue balls in that department. I've been excited for Kang for ages after learning that he was gonna be, the next big thing after Endgame. That was ages ago. So yeah, and every rendition we've seen of him so far is just snippets. I guess that's why I was more so disappointed with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I just feel like we didn't see enough of him and what he was capable of. Like, how the hell did a conqueror of his mass get defeated by an ant? I fully expected Kang to just wipe the floor and kill off Ant-Man just to like set the fucking tone. I guess they're just saving more of him for the future, which it's fine, I guess. But if you look at it, man, geez, the next Avengers movie is coming out in 2026 or 2027. That's ages away. But let's not admit, I mean, we've all been spoiled by Infinity War and Endgame, right? I mean, for me and a lot of other people, I bet, I don't think we'll be truly excited for another Marvel thing until they show off Kang the Conqueror in his full glory. Like the Multiversal War, which was hinted in Loki. I mean, that might be in the next Avengers movie. What's it called? Kang Dynasty? Yeah, maybe, but who knows? Although the roster for the next Avengers isn't really looking very promising, if I'm going to be honest. With the way, the Marvel, the phases right now are building them, up, in the current phases. So I was going to say that we have a lot of good to look forward to, but I'm not sure now, so I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm going to give Loki Season 2 a B+. Pretty standard score, and in the end I rated it pretty similar to how I rated Season 1, maybe above a little bit, even though I contemplated rating this season a B. Here's the gist of it. I just feel like some parts of it is just too convoluted and confusing for me, and it doesn't really show off the next big thing as much as I would have liked it to. But in terms of showing off Loki, it does an exceptional job, I thought. And wow, that ending though has me questioning whether or not there's going to be a Season 3. Which I don't know. I don't know why I'm saying there's going to be a Season 3, even though, I mean, it was probably already announced that it was going to be 2 seasons or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. B+, take your pick. I mean, it's good. Might not be the best, but it's definitely, all right, I'd say that with huge emphasis. It is definitely one of the best things Marvel Studios has produced since Endgame. But yeah, that's it. That's my take. Guys, thank you so much for enjoying this video. Oh my god, I'm so rusty. It's been so long since I've made a video. So forgive me if this video was a bit rushed or kind of lacking detail or just, not as professional as my previous videos. I'm a bit rusty, okay? Oh man. Just losing motivation to upload videos recently. But anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below. Like and sub if you enjoyed. And as always, feel free to check out any of my previous videos. Until next time.